Hello guys, it is Paula and I am back hopefully as regular as I can be at the time, and I'll go into more of that later. It's not important right now, but for a little bit we're not going to have a video every single day, but I'll go over that with you guys. So I have this great idea that I wanted to do, or I've not just come up with it. I mean, I've had it on my mind for some time now. And I wanted to try to get it done before I had my first procedure, but that wasn't possible. So as you can see, you see the paper, you see the fabric. We're talking about a new book. Now, this book is going to be unique to some that we do because I am going to actually paint the book. Okay, so we're looking at a really ugly green book, okay? Kind of a pea green. And this is going to be the size of the book. And the size of the book is going to be, let's see, right now its approximate size is, let me look. 5 1/4, real close to 5 1/4 to 5 1/2 right there, to 8 1/2 to 8 3/4. Okay, so that's going to be the size of the book. I'm thinking of a 3 signature. We'll see about that. I'm not positive on that part yet, but I think we have plenty of the designer paper I want to use for this book. Okay, so, and here is the fabric. It is roses, white roses with like a midnight blue. So it's not a black trim, or it's not drawn on the fabric with black. It's actually like a midnight blue. Now this paper you see in the background is black with white. That is maybe going to make it into the book. Not sure on this one particular one. But the reason I wanted it to was because I want to incorporate some gold into this book. And I have a gold one here that I think would look great with the sister. These are from the same set. This is close to my heart. Paper. And I've had it for some time. But really, the main paper for this book, this is some of the limited edition type paper. Okay, now I do have more than just these 2 sheets, so we'll be fine on that. But here is the same roses, are real similar. They're all not identical, but they're so close you can't tell the difference. Here is the baby blue with a darker blue trim, and that is definitely going to be the first, probably the first page in the first signature, or it may be the inside cover. Not sure yet on how I'm going to do that. It's going to be based off of what looks best with the cover and vice versa. I know you're all thinking green. Oh my gosh. Well, it's not going to stay green. We're going to bring in some paint, and we're going to bring in some other things to make it unique. So we have this blue, and then we have this kind of rose color. All right. And so far, I'm thinking those all look great, right? This is an even lighter blue. I know it's hard to tell probably on camera, but it is. It's a lighter blue. And then we have a peach. So these are the four or five colors that I want to go with. And I want to incorporate this gold. I also have this fabulous gold floral trim. I don't know if you could tell much about it. I don't have it out of the package. Let's just take care of that. I'll take it out of the package and kind of spread it out. Now, I think it will be stunning with the book. Can you see there? I think it's going to look great. So this is what we're going to work on in the next little bit. And I've also got another project lined up. I don't know if we'll do one and then finish it and then do another, or we'll do both. So the other one is all about Traveler's Notebook. And it is an awesome difference that I have not come up with. It's not my idea. I've gotten a lot of inspiration from Artie Mays, and that's all I'm going to say. Okay, and that's later on. So we're going to start with this book today. So I'm going to roll up this trim, which is super nice trim, by the way. I'm trying to remember where I found this. It was like an accident. And I'm like, I have got to buy that. I can't remember where I was at, but I've had this book on my mind for some time now. And so I'm excited to head that direction and get it made. And hopefully it will be one of those that I can give up when it's all said and done, right? Okay, so we're going to start off with some acrylic paint, okay, in a midnight. Well, it's actually, this is a navy blue. But it's midnight blue and navy blue are so much alike that it's, you know, hard to tell the difference, honestly. So it's just Folk Art Navy Blue, number 403, if you're interested in that. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint the inside and the outside of our book. Not the whole inside, just in here. Just, you know, around the outsides. And I think we'll do that first and get that part, you know, because that part might be handled more. But I thought we'd just paint this together. And now, I don't know, it might take 2 coats. If it takes 2 coats, we won't be doing both on camera, because that would take quite a while. But yeah, I have already done a sample of a book with this same navy that I thought we could. Before I introduced it to you, I wanted to be sure if it was going to be the look that I had in mind, and it was. Now, I'm not an expert by no means at acrylics, but I've done a lot, okay? And I used to tool paint many years ago. Oh gosh, a long time ago, but I used to buy all that, you know, the patterns, and I'd transfer them onto wood and whatever else, you know, I needed to do that with. But I absolutely loved doing it. And I still have like one piece, I think, of acrylic or tool painting that I did. Okay, so we've got this side done. We're going to do both of them like that. And then we're just going to come on here. Now, this is the first coat. You don't have to, you know, be crazy neat. Just blop it on there and just try to, you know, go the same direction, because you will see streaks that will show up if you're not going the same direction. It might be noticeable, but really we're going to coat this with something else. So truly, this first coat, it's not going to make that much difference. Once we know this is completely dry, we're going to go over it with another product that is not acrylic paint. I'm just wondering if you guys can figure out from what we're doing what I'm talking about. I love to do that, to just see where your head's at versus where my head's at. We never know where my head is. what can I say? You are going to get paint on you, just so you know. Have plenty of wet wipes or wet towels or something around. That's why we're doing the inside first, and then we'll do the outside. Now, I'm kind of just laying it down on this palette, if you notice, and I'm just getting it on there as best I can. Now, I am going to kind of prop it up on the palette to kind of take it up off the ground a little bit. I don't know how well that will work, but I have a feeling it's going to require 2 coats of this blue. The reason is because this green is probably going to be harder to cover than what you would think. Although I covered on the other book I did, I covered a orange, kind of a red orange, and it covered it great. So I think it just depends. You can do this base color that we're doing right now, any color you want. So, you know, the main thing is that whatever you're painting over, you just want to make sure it covers it. Just as I was saying, you know, you want it to be able to cover up the green or purple, whatever color your book is. Or you can just use chipboard. It's, you know, all in how you want to make your book. But you do really need something. It does have to be a book to make this project work. Okay, so we got the inside on that one done. And if you notice, I'm not trying to be super neat. And I will end up with a lot on me, needless to say. So I'm going to put 2 coats of this, and it is very, very important. This is not going to be a super long video because it is very, very important that the first 2 coats, or this color, okay, let's say that. This color completely dries before you do the next step. So this isn't something you can sit down and do in one day and be like, wow, you know. Because when I come on to do the next video, which is going to be the next product, it won't be as long. And I'll probably do some other videos in between, maybe on the other things I want to work on. But, yeah. So, but I decided, I was more concerned at first about, okay, is this going to be enough for a video, you know, for you guys to hold your interest? And then I went to thinking, well, we're learning something new, and, you know, you just kind of have to go with whatever the new thing is. And so as you can see here, I just finished this coat pretty much. And you want to make sure you can't see any of the color from the book when it's all said and done. Okay, so now I've got these 2 down here. This one's almost dry. You can see I am quite a mess. So I'm going to you want to be on a surface that is not that important to you, because I will tell you, you cannot get acrylic paint out of your clothes. Warning, wear no shirt, wear something that you don't care that much about, because it's not going to come out of your clothes or off your surface if it's not a surface that can handle paint. This is one of the Ranger mixed media type mats, and so that's why I've got it under here, because I know I can just wipe it right off, you know. So I'm trying to get the large part of this off of me while I'm giving this book cover on the left a chance to dry, because I figure we're going to have time to put the second coat on. The first coat acrylic paint, I'm going to tell you this about acrylic paint. It dries really quick. For those of you that don't know, I'm sure the majority of you have used acrylic paint before in one fashion or another. It does dry very fast, and you don't really want to put the second coat on till you know the first coat is not wet. So I think you'll be happier if you can allow it to dry completely. Now I'm going to kind of clean this clumpiness off the brush. Over on the side here, I have this water pan. Now, I've had this water pan. Let me see if I can move it over a little more. It's just a square thing that has things that inside, different ripply areas in the bottom to clean your brush off. You can see I'm kind of rubbing across a grid in the bottom of it. This thing has been loved. Probably the best $10 I ever spent. I don't know where you can get them now. This is probably 25 years old, somewhere in there. A long time since I first started doing my painting. Because we didn't paint using just a jar to rinse our stuff out. You had to really scrub the acrylics out of your brush in order to use it again. And this is the best thing for it. So if you can ever get your hands on some or one of these, that would be great. Now, you're going to see how fast this dries. We got a little bit of wet right there, but it's not enough that I'm concerned, you know. So I'm going to squeeze out some more of our paint, because this is not going to be enough, obviously. This paint is really thick. I don't know if it's older than it needs to be on the shelves, but it has no liquid in it. It's just really thick, which it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be where you can squeeze it out the top of the bottle. That's not happening. That's not happening. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over again to the side, the wrong side, or the inside of the book. And I'm going to go ahead, and my brush is a little wet. I want my brush a little wet this time because I don't want it to, I want it to be able to flow across this coat. See how much difference that makes whenever you add water. It will thin out your next coat, but it will smooth on better for you too. And I'm not talking a whole lot of water, okay? Because then it'd be pointless. But enough that you can glide your brush across the second coat without any problems. Now I'm going to do around the edges. Around the edges here. Want to get all the way around the book. Make sure everything is covered the best you can. Okay. Now, got to get it in the right position here. Everything looks like it needs to be. So now I'm going to just barely wet my brush again, just barely, and kind of mix it in with this. Now I'm just using an old rugged worn out brush. I bought some cheap ones, and that's what I'm using on here. Now this is my final coat, so I want to pay attention and make sure that, it looks as good as I can get it to look. Again, this is going to be covered by a product where it's not going to really matter that much. But it's good habit when you're using acrylics to use them properly. That's my opinion. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. You want to do it how you would normally paint with acrylics, so that if you ever do need to do a proper tool painting or anything like that it won't be hard. Okay, so as you can see, that went really fast the second time, right? And that's because we're really just covering up what we're using here. Now, I'm trying my hardest not to touch anywhere on this book to put like a fingerprint or anything like that on it. So I am going to kind of prop one corner up here so it can kind of dry up in the air a little bit. Now, that's not going to protect the inside of your book, that, you know, this portion that well. But it's not going to hurt it, that's for sure. Because look at this one. It was leaning also. So we're going to go ahead, add a little tiny bit of water on my end of my brush. And now we're doing the inside second coat. Yeah. So I'm excited about trying something new with you guys. And really, it's new for me because I haven't done it in many, many years. This used to be a popular technique back in the day. I'm aging myself. Back in the tulle painting days. And a lot of people would do this and then paint their image on whatever item they're doing it, painting on. Whether it's canvas or wood or whatever. Okay, so now we're going to go over here and we're going to keep everything straight so that it flows on here nicely. Now, I'm going to introduce you in just a second to what we're going to do. But when you're doing this technique, or whatever you want to call it, you have to remember that it's unpredictable as to how it's going to turn out. It's kind of like a surprise. You don't really know how perfect one part is going to look versus another part, okay? So you can't be disappointed. You just have to work with what you've got. Now, I say that, but then I think in my head, if it's a total disaster, we'll do it again. But it's not going to be. I did the sample. The sample turned out really good. So hopefully we'll have as much luck on the book. Okay, so it looks like this has all got its second coat. Now, let me move this around a little bit so we have plenty of space to prop this one up as well. Now, I will leave these here until tomorrow so that they can dry completely. Tomorrow, sometime, if it's not tomorrow, it'll be the next day. I don't know how my weekend is going to go. Today is my son's 45th birthday. Happy birthday, sweetheart. I know he's not watching, but you never know. You never know. And so I'm so super proud of him. He's a hard worker and a good dad and a good husband and a super son. And yeah, he makes his mama feel super old. But anyway, so plus we're going to my daughter's, the third week of my daughter's show that she's in, Mamma Mia. It's been going great, and it's been selling out every day. It's just been awesome. And so my son and his 3 children and his wife and my husband and I are going to go and be on the second row of all places. My daughter-in-law wanted to be close. And so we're going to be on the second row watching our daughter. So that's going to be fun. And then probably dinner to celebrate my son's birthday. So I'm not sure what my weekend's going to be like, but I plan on trying to come back tomorrow and put the next coat of product on. It won't be tonight because it's already late in the day and it won't have a chance to dry. Okay, so what we're going to be adding, and I'm sure tons of you have done this, we're going to be adding, it's a folk art brand, okay? It's called Crackle Medium, all right? And you're going to pick this up over in the same section at the hobby shop that you would pick up acrylic paints. And it's by Folk Art. Crackle Medium is what it's called for acrylic paint. And so it's not outrageous. I want to say it was $5 or $6 for this bottle and a couple of dollars for the paint. Now, you need a contrasting color. We've got this blue, and this has no color, by the way, but it's the second coat to go on. It has no color. It is clear, so it will definitely be, it will still look blue when you're done, only shiny, okay? It's very, very important that this dries overnight at least, okay? And then you will put your contrasting color. In our case, the contrasting color is going to be white. Now you're saying, man, yeah, that is super contrasting, right? To have white and navy together. But that is going to be the contrasting color that goes over this. Now, we'll put the Crackle Medium on in the next video. And then I'm going to show you, I wasn't sure. I did this little book here to test, just a little cover I had on how it would look. Now, again, it's not going to be perfection, but it is going to crack and age your book. Do you see what we've got here? No one part's going to look identical. And as you're painting this on, you need to remember that it's going to start crackling. So when you go over an area, it's going to look like you went over it. You can see, I didn't care. I just went over it. I didn't want big blobs in one place. So make sure your brush is wet, not dripping wet. But when you put the contrasting color on, we want to be able to move and work quickly. Now, what I did is I did the inside first. And because I wasn't sure what I needed to do. It's been too long since I had worked on one of these. And at some point, I'm going to do something with this little book. I mean, we don't want to waste a good crackle, right? Anyway, so this is what our goal is, which I think is going to look great with our fabric, don't you? I think it's going to look great with the fabric. And so that is going to be an aged old book when we're done. So a couple things before I go. I finally saw the orthopedic surgeon for my hip. You know, I had an MRI done on my hip the last time I communicated with you guys. And I knew that I had a tear, but I didn't know how bad. So just so you know, I have a full thickness tear in my hip joint in what's called the labrum, but I also have a lot of other things going on. It has completely exposed my hip bone, and I'm having to use, since I talked to you guys last, I have had to start using a cane and a walker because the pain is so excruciating. And sadly, I'm going to have a complete hip replacement because of this. How it happened, they figure arthritis and just aging over time. The thing that makes me the most nervous is that my right side has been showing minor signs of the same problem. So I'm not even going to think about the right side. We're going to concentrate on the left side. I just pray you guys will lift me up in your thoughts and prayers, that I can make it until September 30th, which is when I'm going to have my hip replacement. So between now and then, as much as I can, I'm going to be in here and we're going to be playing and making videos and having fun. I doubt that I'll be able to get far enough ahead to, I'm not Gail, you know. Gail, she can do 5 videos a day and just move right on. She's an expert. So my goal is just for us to have fun between now and September 30th. And recover from that. That will take me about 6 weeks to recover from, and then I'll be back. And the doctor has told me that it is way less pain than a knee replacement, and I've had 3. I've got 2 knees, but I've had 3 replacements. Figure that one out. One of them had to be redone. But anyway, so if I can tolerate a knee replacement, I can tolerate a hip replacement without any problem. That's what I say. All right, so I'm doing great otherwise. So I just wanted to give you guys that little heads up, and I'm gonna hopefully not have to speak of it again until it gets down to that week. So we're gonna have fun making this new book, and like I said, I'm also working on something. It's in my head, and I've kind of had my hands on it a little bit as far as a traveler's notebook, something different. So I will see you guys in the next video. If you're watching for the first time, please subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of our group, and I hope all my friends come back and continue to watch me through all my breaks. But, you know, life sometimes deals you a raw, ugly hand, but you just got to keep picking yourself up and moving on. So that's what I plan on doing. And so if you enjoyed this video today, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you guys all in the next video where we're going to put our coat of Crackle on. Our Crackle Medium. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.